Hey everyone, welcome to Tech Thursday. I'm your host, Dan, and we are going to get started with a new PowerPoint function. Here's the intro. So we're going to take a look at a new PowerPoint feature called Cameo. And what Cameo allows you to do, as opposed to doing a screen recording ahead of time or putting a video into PowerPoint, it allows you to bring live video into your PowerPoint. And it's available now in the Office Insiders builds. So what you can do with this function is have live video within your PowerPoints. So this is actually not Teams. It is a Teams background or display, if you will, in a PowerPoint. So if I hit the escape key, check it out. You are sitting in a PowerPoint with the Cameo function inserted. So I have a camera, I have different styles that I can apply. I have different alt text that I can put in. I can crop that window. But as I present in PowerPoint, you get live video integrated, and I can put this behind, I can integrate it in different ways, including having multiple recorded video feeds in the PowerPoint that play simultaneously.
Hey everyone, how's the weather up there? Hi everybody. Hey Dan. How's it going?
There's 4 of us. And now there's going to be 7 of us.
Hey everyone, how's the weather up there? Hi everybody. Hey Dan. How's it going?
Think of all the possibilities you could have with this new feature called Cameo, and it's available now in the Office Insiders builds. So all you have to do is go to insider.office.com. You enroll in the Office Insiders through your PowerPoint or your Office applications. You bring down those new builds, and then that Cameo feature is something that you can insert from the menus. I can also use the morph transition. You can see here that I actually have 3 video feeds, one just hiding on top of another. And then as I move through my slides, I move that 3rd layer over. And I can even duplicate a 4th layer of video. And then all the video is live. The way that I did the other effect, where I have the different versions of Dan in the video, let's take a look at that. I went into PowerPoint, and under the slideshow menu, there is a record feature. And what record allows you to do is actually record a PowerPoint for your use. So in the same way that I recorded live video, and I did that by leveraging the screenshot function and then just playing the PowerPoint as if I were doing it live as a presentation. This recording with a countdown, 3, 2, 1, has my video very similar to the other 4 video feeds that are in here, but it will have the timing as well as this 5th video file embedded. So now we can go back, resize that 5th video element, decide if it's sitting on top or behind other video elements. Let's take a look at that same page now. Similar to the other 4 video feeds that are in here, but it will have the timing as well as this 5th video file embedded. And then this is another effect. Somebody on a distribution list that I was on was asking, what would we use effects over the video for? I can make myself appear to be in jail. I could do something on top of maybe a logo or something else in the video, but have that embedded along with my live video. Lots of different ideas. This was a short video I did demonstrating what that might look like. So again, I just went into PowerPoint, inserted the Cameo, laid over a layer of shapes, and then I went ahead and recorded my screen, pulling that into the PowerPoint to do that effect. So lots of different things that you could do with this feature in a slideshow. That third one where I had the third layer, I can actually pull out that third layer. So it goes from one video feed to 2 video feeds to 3 video feeds. And then because I added the 5th layer to my 4th video, I actually have that 5th video element in here. And I could do some really creative things, maybe making that look like it's still within the context of a Teams meeting. So if I'm doing training and I'm trying to impart something differently, or just have some fun with my presentations and my students, this is a great way to think about doing that differently, even along with live video. So the live video doesn't have to be fed from another. Now I'm leveraging Restream for this broadcast. And one of the things that Restream does is it allows me to share my screen. But because I'm in PowerPoint and I'm leveraging my video, I can't leverage my video in 2 places at once. So I do have the ability to leverage maybe another camera on my computer, but let's see if it's released the Surface Camera front. Looks like it might have. Awesome. So now I'm back in Restream as opposed to PowerPoint. And because I have those 2 cameras in PowerPoint, another thing that I tested was the ability to actually share my screen and then tell PowerPoint that it's using the other camera. Because a Surface has a front-facing camera that you can see me on and a back-facing camera, I have some creative things I could do with this setup. So instead of inserting Cameo and leveraging the front-facing camera under the camera menu, preview, I could tell it to use my Surface rear camera. And then instead of seeing me, it fires up my rear-facing camera. And the demo I showed yesterday was maybe doing something like leveraging this to show off the Teams app within your phone. Or there might be other ways that you could leverage this.
Hey everyone, how's the weather up there? Hi everybody. Hey Dan, hey Dan.
So hopefully that gives you just a few of the ideas that you could do with this new feature. Under the insert menu, far right, you get this Cameo feature. When you insert Cameo, it becomes a video. Live, the camera allows you to do things like round, circle, video. I can do it with borders or without borders. Do a center shadow diamond. So whatever I want to do with a video, many of these presets are already built in. And then the way that I got this build was going to my account off of the file menu, enrolling in the Office Insider, and then I signed up for the beta channel. So I'll get a new build of the Office applications about every week. And this will allow me to do some really neat things with live video. So we are live on several different channels. I am live on YouTube. I'm live on my Facebook stream, as well as LinkedIn and Twitter, if everything in Restream broadcasted correctly. Let's double check here a couple of the feeds and see if they are live right now. The nice thing about most of these, I believe all of these actually, is they are something you can view later. So if you missed this live mid-afternoon, you should be able to come back to it later. Looks like Facebook's working fine. LinkedIn, I believe, was working as well. Let's take a look. Yep. I already tested Facebook, and let's go to YouTube and see if we're live there. Okay, gotta switch over to my other account here. I can never remember between the two accounts which one's my Thursday account and which one's my Tip Tuesday account. I think this is my Tip Tuesday one. So let's go over to the other YouTube and see if our video's up there. Yeah, it's streaming there as well. So we are live on all those different channels. And the nice thing about this is that I have the ability to share my screen and show you what that Cameo function looks like within PowerPoint. So the way I did these 3 videos, where I'm looking a little different, have different glasses on, whatever, is I did the slideshow record from that slide. That produces the file, the video file, as well as the timing. So it switches to the next slide once that time has elapsed. So with the first video, I did my intro, paused for somebody else to say something, and then I did the how's everybody doing? And then everybody gave the thumbs up at about the same time, produced the second video, paused for the first Dan to do the introduction, waited for the next one, and then did the same thing with a third. And then I also embedded the live video. Here we've got another embedded Cameo. And then I just pulled these in as screen elements to show that I'm in the meeting a couple different times. Theoretically, I need a fourth for the fourth Dan Ray that's in the meeting. But if you're explaining things like how guest access works in Teams, this might be a fun way to introduce that in a class and not just sit in a PowerPoint slide and doing things the same way you've done them before, or sit in a Teams meeting where you don't have other people in the Teams meeting. One of the challenges I have when I teach Microsoft Teams is a lot of times I'm sitting in another technology. So if a training company or organization chooses to use Zoom or WebEx or Adobe or another product, because they're training more than just Microsoft Teams or Microsoft classes, sometimes I fight that battle. Sometimes it's just easier to use the technology for video conferencing that their employees or the students are going to be familiar with. And so in those cases, a lot of times I have the same challenge I have here. My video camera might already be in use by Zoom or WebEx or some other technology. I can hook up 2 front-facing video cameras to try to get around that. My microphone and my audio sources are typically held by that first application. So getting into a Teams meeting, some of the things I'm doing here are often quite challenging because of that. I don't know if I've installed it. It doesn't look like I have yet on this computer. But another thing that I've found super helpful for support or when I'm doing those Teams classes is to install the Windows Sandbox, which is part of Windows 10 and Windows 11. And what the Windows Sandbox allows me to do after a reboot is set up a demo environment that is a completely separate machine, virtualized, running Windows 10. And I can install Windows applications in there, including Microsoft Teams. And the nice thing about installing Teams in there is I can actually be using Teams on my real computer and Teams within the virtual sandbox at the same time. So these are just a couple of the things that I've found with Microsoft Teams to enhance the either MS 700 course, which is the administrating Microsoft Teams, or the MS 740, which is the troubleshooting Microsoft Teams course. One way to maybe make some of those demos more interactive would be leveraging things like this, explaining what the video feed might look like if you're having problems with screen sharing, or you want to do something like disable the GPU that's in use. So I could go into my settings and I could look whether or not my GPU, graphics processing unit, is disabled or not in Microsoft Teams. We could talk about other ways to troubleshoot. We could look at the situation, the scenario, look at the potential outcomes of that. So there's a lot of different ways that I could incorporate this within the classroom settings. That's a little bit about PowerPoint. There is now a present in Teams function as well. So the Cameo is still in what I would consider like a preview or a beta. So there'll be improvements as Microsoft employees, as well as Microsoft most valuable professionals, such as myself, give Microsoft feedback on this new feature. So would love to hear your thoughts on this new feature and whether it's something you're interested in or Microsoft Teams training. Feel free to reach out to me. My company logo here, which I just added recently to Restream, was designed by my nieces and my daughter. So DESA Enterprises, new logo showing up now in our stream, our live stream here. And we have come to the end of our episode for Tech Thursday. Thank you for either attending live or watching this stream later. I will go ahead and produce the Microsoft PowerPoint that introduces this and post that as a video as well. Let's show that real quick because that is a really cool feature in PowerPoint that I often neglect to share with folks. So I have a PowerPoint here with a slide introduction, and the slide introduction plays automatically. Under the transitions, I can tell this when to move to the next slide. This slide could do the same thing under transitions. After 15 seconds, it's going to go to the next slide, which is my slide where the three Dans introduce themselves, and I embedded a fourth. And then after 15 seconds, it goes to this slide and does the same intro, just moving the video feeds around. And then I can do the same thing, decide how quickly these pages move through automatically. And then off the File Export menu in PowerPoint, I can create a video. And by creating a video, it takes all of those slides, splices them together, and respects the timing that's already on the slides. Or if I have slides that don't have timing, I can just default them to show the slide for 5 seconds. Maybe it's sponsorship, maybe it's an address that I want you to write down, or remind you to turn on notifications so you can see when I go live or when these different posts go up. And I can create that video just right here, and it creates an MP4 video in the quality that I'd like. This is also where Sharon Conley showed me and many of you the create an animated GIF. So if you've ever had fun with graphics interchange format or GIFs and using those graphics that look like videos to leverage on LinkedIn or other social media platforms, you can create those right out of PowerPoint as well. So hopefully this has given you some food for thought on this Tech Thursday, and I'm going to go ahead and end things with our outro here. Thanks, everyone.